Can you hear me? Is that better? I am so fucking tired of this shit. I'm so tired of like this browser doesn't have access to the microphone. That one does. You know what I did? I toggled the mic access for the Brave browser off and then back on. That's not a system change. That's not proper troubleshooting. Power cycling is what I do for Windows. It's not what I do for an operating system that's supposed to work. I am absolutely. It just sends me right around the twist. Right. Hold on. I'm kind of tempted to just shut this off and go to bed. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Partially because the reason I'm doing a slightly shorter live stream tonight is because I still have to work. Because that's the kind of October I'm having. It's the end of fiscal and it's driving me crazy. However, tea is a good drink. Oh. Okay. Whatever. Forget what I was talking about. I don't. It's not in my head anymore. We'll just sort of say hi to whoever's with us. And the reason I was late was because my usual browser, Firefox, wasn't giving me any access to mic or camera. It's like 9:01. Fuck. Anyway. Whatever. I'm here. Country Boy says hi. I'm saying hi right on back. He was like, he clocked in just as I set this up, late, of course. He's a channel mod and a channel hero, by the way, as it should be. That's not what I meant to say. Sorry, I saw what someone else said and it distracted me. He's a channel mod and a channel hero, so be nice or be banned. I'm glitching hard tonight, guys. It's new meds this week. Yeah, exactly a week tonight. Then we had Christy popping in. She is a channel hero. Nice to see you, Christy. How are things down there? I am getting rained on. It's been all day, and it's a lot of rain, and I'm afraid to look in that back room because I'm afraid of the size of the river I'm going to see back there. I think, Russell, you probably got really heavily rained on, too. Are you still getting rained on? Like, it was a lot of millimeters, like a crap ton of millimeters. I was about to look it up, but whatever. Lots of rain. Good for the plants. Good for the 2 trees that we had cut down like a week ago. Peanut Trucker popping in. How's you doing? Where are you tonight? Where are you on the road? I'm skipping across everything about me being muted because I'm just pissed off tonight. Hey there, Destiny. How are you doing? How's life on the prairies? How's the weather? Cold today, like 3 degrees Canadian cold. So I had to put a sweater on when I was going to work. And okay, so 3 degrees, and I was getting poured on running to the bus stop. I need some rubber boots because my shoes are like soaked right on through. So I let me see if I added that to my purchase list. Yes, nice rubber boots. Right there at the bottom. Like I don't even know what to look for. Like I used to just look for, Billy boots, right? Or Wellington boots, dark sort of a khaki green. I'd buy them at Canadian Tire. They became more and more expensive over time. But like I I see that, like, some of the people I know have rain boots that kinda don't look like rain boots. They look like, there are some of them have, like, Blundstones and stuff like that. Those are a little more water resistant, but so I'm thinking of just taking a look at what's available and seeing if I can buy something. It's, like, low. Like, if I'm running to work, I don't need something that comes halfway up to my knee kinda thing. I would like to get some full-on Billy boots for mucking around in the backyard as well, but anyways, whatevs. That's neither here nor there. Um Boo, boo. David Evans in the house. He is a channel hero and a channel mod, so you know what I'm gonna say. Be nice. Especially because now I'm all grumpy and shift. Who else is with us? Anyone else popping in with us yet? It's a weird night, right? It's a Thursday, it's not Tuesday. Hey, there's Charles and Annie. How are things down in the Philippines tonight? Um, Country Boy says we're getting 40 millimeters tonight and tomorrow, but well, it's Vancouver. Yeah, you guys are used to that. I mean, we get pretty rainy too, but hey, man on the street is here. How are you doing? I was thinking about you today or yesterday because my dad sent me a link to. Hold on, I'm gonna sort of go on down, um, so I can start putting people on screen because now I'm all like thrown right, so I'm not doing the usual stuffs. Um, fool. Where the hell? Everything jumped, so now I'm looking and looking and looking because of course nothing's gonna work for me tonight. Of course. Fred and Russell didn't note the glory of his aromatics. Oh, are you guys in the same room tonight? Yeah, so I was thinking about you because my dad sent me, there's a guy in Ottawa who opened like, a classic car cafe. So, like, there are pictures of classic cars everywhere, but he's actually got a few in the cafe. He's got, like, an old Mercedes, what is it? It's the one with the gull-wing doors. He's got a classic Lambo in there and, a fairly classic Ferrari as well and something else. Um, and that the Lambo, I mean, we're talking old, right? 70s-ish, 60s, 70s kind of. I think the Ferrari might be 80s. It's got sort of that boxier look to it. Just reminded me of, like, how nice car designs used to be before everything was a wind tunnel. I was gonna send you a link, but I don't know if you have the Book of Faces, so I was like, "Oh, what's the point? What's the point?" I said, right? What is the point? Christy, I will, but not until November. I'm way, way, way too buried in work right now. Like, once we're done here, I still have to work. I have to get something out tonight before I go to bed. So, it's on my it's on my list, though. It's on my list. Every day I write the book. Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna be able to read this, but it's right down there. It's right there on my to-do list for this week. Gonna leave that open just in case we have to add something to it. Like, buy the whiskey, Jess. It's Country Boy. That's on my list already. But yeah, I'm gonna for sure. I love that idea. Country Boy's asking an important question here. Asking Chrissy what she's drinking. Did you find a bottle of Bullet 10 year yet? In a more sane life, I would be looking for that bottle myself. I quite like Bullet. I forgot to turn on the hot plate under my tea, which is a good drink, by the way, as you know. Christy is saying, yeah. Yeah, Al, I was thinking like I hadn't seen you here in a minute. I was wondering about you this week. I was like, hope that guy's okay. But I figured you were probably just on a cruise or doing something fabulous, or working on a car. Um, I really see the enjoyment factor in people who that's mostly guys. Although, um, there's a YouTube channel of a young woman in the UK who, who rebuilt, um, a Land Rover, like the Defender, but hers is from before it was called the Defender, like, it's old, and when I say rebuilt, like, she bought a chassis for it, just everything just completely rebuilt, and I love the I love the idea of it. I could never afford to do it, and I don't have, like, tools, or I don't have a good enough garage space or anything, but, like, I see people who are, like, 5 years into a car rebuild, so, "Yeah, I just finished the engine," and I'm looking at it, and, there's a guy in Alberta that we go and see whenever we're doing the gigs out there. He's an old friend of our guitarist's who used to live here in Montreal, went to high school together, and he's done a rebuild or 2, and, like, I get it. If you're a petrol head, or I guess a gearhead, I get it. I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm not starting something like that at the age of 53, having no history behind it, but I see what these guys are doing. I see the enjoyment in their faces when they're talking about their projects, and, you know, I channel that energy into other things, but, so whenever I see something about a car, I think of you, Alan. I wanna, like, ping you or something. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, you're having an Elijah Craig rye tonight? That's cool. I've got an Elijah Craig, not the rye, but I've got an Elijah Craig just unopened back there. I need to be bottling down some things before I open other stuff. I kinda wanna keep the rest of this for when I get the Tabor corn. Although, is the Tabor corn, yeah, it's the same 3 grains, right? It's corn, barley, and rye? Or is it straight up corn? I'll take a look at it when I order it and get it shipped here. Um, Country Boy says, "Elijah Craig hasn't made a bottle that you haven't liked. Never tried the rye, though." I haven't tried the rye either. Still recovering from the earthquake, right? But your place, you said, sort of came through all right, which is nice. Um, Wait, what? Buy one, get the second for 99 cents? I Look, that is shockingly great, but, I mean, I'm like, 3 distilleries went under because of the the current, not purely because we're not buying bourbon, but, um, Gen Z or Gen Z or whatever are not drinking whiskey, which is hitting their bottom line. Um, Canada's the biggest, the biggest or the second biggest market outside the United States. So when most provinces stopped buying, that hit the bottom line. Um, the whiskey bubble is bursting, so everyone is getting hit by that. But so there's a barrel works owned by Jack Daniels that is gone, and there are 3 of the smaller distilleries that are gone. So I think that you're probably seeing some fabulous prices starting to pop up here and there for bourbon. I mean, buy one, get one for 99 cents. You'd be stupid not to, right? Um, I was just thinking about that. Oh, have I been have I been singing that? I do a lot of stuff like that without even realizing it, and people are like, "Yeah, I love that song." I'm like, "What? What are we talking about?" Uh, yeah, BC and Quebec and Ontario and New Brunswick, um, and a couple of other provinces all have government agencies, um, for better or for worse, right? For better in that if I could ever find um, a Pappy Van Winkle in a Quebec SAQ, it would be for MSRP, whereas in most of the places where it's non-regulated, they're charging whatever they can for it, right? You can spend $1,000 on a Pappy in many American states. For instance, it's not quite generally not quite as bad up here. Like, the most deregulated province, I believe, is, like, Alberta. They're definitely the best province for whiskey and booze and stuff. Um, but the number 1 store doesn't gouge, and so there's a lot of pressure on the other stores not to, because when the biggest guy in the province doesn't gouge, it's really hard to justify gouging. And, like, 3 of the other biggest guys are all sort of not discount, but they make, good prices a major part of their sales, campaign, so, you know. I'll go until, like, 10:30, and then I'll go and do my work. I'm practically done. I just ran out of time, at the actual office and had to come home. It's tough being in the office 3 days a week, and it's funny because before the plague, I mean, I was in the office 5 days a week, but I was always exhausted, and so I didn't really notice it until I was home 100% of the time, that it kills me to be surrounded by that many people. Today, at the office, like, half of the devs were dressed as minions, which was really funny. Destiny saying hi to everybody. Everybody. I've gotta stop doing that. Tip of the hat to Marcus, wherever he may be. Yeah, he might not be able to be with us tonight. Oh, Al's working on a new project. If you think you're gonna bore everyone here, then for land's sakes, mister, ping me. Ping me on the privates. I mean, I wanna hear about it for sure. But if you wanna mention it here, I'm sure there's someone else here who's into stuff like that. There we go. Country Boy says, "No car build is boring to him." It was 91 degrees. That's freedom in Arizona today. So that's like what, in the 30s, the mid to high 30s? Do I have that right? It seems hot to me. Beto, how you doing? Um, you do not live in Rio. No, in weird news out of Brazil today, but I'm not gonna bore everyone. Or not today, maybe yesterday, whatever. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Look, whiskey always does this, right? It goes through periods where, like, everyone's really into it and, prices are going through the roof and it's so hip and it's so everywhere, and then it's grandpa's drink or dad's drink again, and it's going into the dad's drink side of things. And, great because maybe the prices will come down, because what's been happening is that the prices for whiskey have just been going up and up and up because that's the way the market's been going. Um So I'm looking forward to those dropping a little bit. I do believe that some poor sods who've been throwing big money into roomfuls or shelffuls of, like, frickin' Blantons are gonna get caught holding the bag. So I partly feel bad for them, and partly really don't, because I loathe the collector set. They're the reason that the prices have gone through the roof. Um, but I still don't want anyone to be caught out, like, and put into a bad financial situation, you know? But yeah, so it's bursting, and oh, yeah, and so another bad thing is we're gonna lose some distilleries, and we're probably gonna lose some killer distilleries. Bruichladdich, was closed for a long time, and it was reopened. Um, Ardbeg was closed and it reopened. Like, these are seminal. Is Russell here? I don't think he's here yet, but these are seminal whiskey makers, seminal Scotch companies. You know, boom and bust, just like oil. You know, you're riding high and then sell the boat because we love our alcohol here in Berta. They sure do. Um, Sure do. My favorite 2 booze store all my favorite alcohol stores are in Alberta. I mean, the SAQ is good because it's here, but it's not like, the selection is no good. The prices, some of them are lower than Alberta and some of them are higher, like, a lot higher. An Ardbeg Uigeadail, the difference in price has so far been big enough that I can buy the bottle in Alberta, spend $20 on shipping, and still come out, like, $20 a head kinda thing. So, for some bottles, it really, really is a huge difference. For some, that Johnny Walker Blue Label that Al was so kind to fund for me, um, that was more affordable by about $8 in Quebec than it was in Alberta. And your goddamn Cobra chickens. The campus where I work is currently covered in Cobra chickens, currently. Country Boy does not like Cobra chickens. Yeah, yeah. Destiny David says, "I love Alberta. It's the only province where your dog runs away and you can see it 3 days later." I think that's Saskatchewan, because Alberta's, like, flat and then flat, 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 flat Rockies, you know? I mean, look, I'm not gonna judge. I spent my formative years in Franco, Manitoba, right? I mean, it's pretty flat too. A lot of lakes, but pretty flat. Steve Ground's in the house. How you doing? I hope you're having a fabulous day. Country Boy says, "Losing distilleries is never a good thing." No, it's not. It's not, but it is part of the cycle, you know? Um And sometimes that cycle kills a lot of distillers, and some of the distilleries, the Scotch makers that have disappeared in years past, like, bottles from ghost distilleries collect massive money on secondary, and the thing about that is that nobody's ever gonna drink it, right? They're buying it as an investment. So they buy, a bottle of whatever, Royal Lochnagar or like Brora 14 for like $1,200 or more, 8 grand. I mean, some of these bottles go into the stratosphere, planning to flip it for more, like, down the line. Now, the one beautiful thing about the bubble bursting is that these guys can't really play that game anymore, you know? Like, some of the really expensive ones you can, but, you know, um Oh, Destiny, yes. Okay, so that table and everything is completely different. This workspace is completely different than it used to be. Um, I've been working with my ADHD coach to make this space more workable, uh, because, I wasn't comfortable sitting here before, and it was impacting on my ability to get work done. So when I was doing work, like day job work, I had a screen up on the kitchen counter, and so sitting up there was better for my headspace. But what that meant was, at the end of the day, I had this huge mess all over the kitchen counter. When I was doing my journal stuff, what I call my whimsies, I was on the kitchen table, and then when I was done late at night, I would just put everything on one of the kitchen chairs and sort of slide it under, and then go to bed, and my wife would be like, "Stop doing that." Um, so table for this stuff, that bookshelf that was there is over there. It's a much better space. Right now, it's a little messy, so I'm gonna clean it up before I go to bed. But yeah, part of it is I make sure that I clean it up, you know? I got some stuff in my hands coming downstairs, don't put it down, put it away, you know? And the upshot is that I like this space more than I used to. It's not stressful to sit here anymore, which is nice. Ba-bum, ba-bum, bum. Destiny, we enjoyed an early breakfast at Cora's today. I think it's a franchise started by a lady from Quebec. Great food and prices and a nice atmosphere. Great morning. Yeah, so Cora is dead now, but it's still run by franchises. The company is still run by one of her sons. Um, one of my wife's aunts used to run a Chez Cora, and I don't know about out west, but in Quebec, Cora ran a tight ship. She removed people's licenses if they weren't hitting all the standards for the food. You know, presentation, like, same presentation across the country, same quality of food, you know, I mean, the recipes are exact, and she would, you know, a Chez Cora or out west, they just call it Cora's breakfast, I think, would just suddenly get inspected, you know? Someone would walk in, order something, and if it wasn't up to snuff, license gone. Um, so, I mean, Cora made sure that the Shakora experience is uniformly delish, right? I mean, if you're into breakfast places, right? And if you're into breakfast places that serve a very serve a plate of Quebec without being obvious about it, you know? Yeah. Where was this? Because I know that I've seen some Coras in Alberta. Ketchupway likes his Cobra chickens in certain contexts. Yeah. Do they actually taste good? I you know, yeah. Um, Mr. Jim at, what time did he say that? Hold on, let me go at that. I can stretch it to 30. I tell you what, I'll go until 10:30 tonight. It's just I do have to work afterwards. Um, yeah, Goose is definitely gamier, but I'm with you. I like gamey tastes. Not so gamey that it kinda tastes like liver, you know, but I do like a gamey taste for sure. David Evans, yes, there was a co-restaurant, yep, absolutely. Yes. Mm. If I'm only going until 10:30, should I open the whiskey now? Christy, what do you think? Christy is the arbiter of whiskey drinkage on the live streams. Should I do the whiskey now? It's 21:46 now. Christy says I should open it now. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna have a dram of this because it's a 40%, so I'm not gonna get schnit-faced. So, I don't know if any of you are interested in this, but the, online Scotch Whisky Awards are on Saturday. I told you guys before that I was one of the judges this year. Um, so, that's on is that on Aquavita's channel? It's on a channel. Some channel. Like, I don't know, it's gonna be like a 3-hour show, right? These awards thing is often are. I'm just seeing if I can find the, Aquavita Bourbon Casks, The Forgotten. I'm seeing if there's like a yes, okay. So I will put the link just in case somebody's actually interested in this. Shift copy, paste, remove the SI equals everything because that is how Google tracks us, tracks our watching, and then sends. And then sends. Did it send? Yes, it did. So that's gonna be on Saturday. Like, I think it's like 6 PM Greenwich Mean Time, so, like, let me just take a look here. Does it say? It'll be in 40 hours. Yeah, so, November the 1st at 2 o'clock Montreal time, so, like, noon in Alberta, 11 in British Columbia, or and whatever the hell the states are below those provinces. Oh, by the way, cheers. Christy's having the Elijah Craig. Anyone else having a little whiskey? Mm. Destiny says, "Wait, what is Al working on, or is it a secret?" International Man of Mystery number 2. Yeah, Al, if you wanna mention it here, that's fine. Okay, so if I was ever in the position and had the wherewithal to rebuild an old car, it would absolutely be a Land Rover Defender, for sure, for sure. Like, if I could get one that was just old enough to have those 2 little flippies under the front window, that would be the one. But anything from before hold on, let me just look. Land Rover Defender models, years? Let's take a look at that. I kind of feel like we should do a separate live stream just to talk about this kinda stuff. Land Rover Defender model timeline from Land Rover of Southgate. So I like the current one, but, I don't trust anything that Land Rover Jaguar is making these days any more than I trust what Jeep is making, and neither of them are making, killer cars anymore at all. It has to be a four-door. I mean, I'm dreaming here, right? Like, I suddenly have all these tools and the money to rebuild a Land Rover. Has to be a four-door, but, like, not something as far back as, like, the 48 to 58 series. Like, something from the '70s, maybe the '80s. Like, I don't think I wanna go any more modern than that. Because even then, like, by 1985, 71 to 85, the 2 little flippies are gone, right? Destiny, I don't know if he's rebuilding an old a car, but it's just I know that he does like to rebuild cars, and so whenever I see something about a car rebuild, I wanna ping him. Yeah, see, so the the Land Rover 110, 1983 to '90 was, like, the last model before they killed it. The reason they killed it was 'cause they could not make that model they could not improve that model enough to meet, European emissions, and efficiency standards. So they just killed it and took a few years to come up with the one that they have now, which I like. I really like the look of, but I know it's not a great car. I know the DNA is there, but, um, the work ethic isn't, you know? So, like, maybe a 1971, like a four-door '71 in, like, that sort of khaki green or that green, the Land Rover green, you know? Um, Destiny says, "Yes, please. Separate for cars and separate one for lanterns and the boys." No, that is gonna happen for sure. Absolutely. Country Boy says, "Don't b buy any British auto unless you're wealthy and have the patience of a saint." That's definitely true of Jaguars, even classic ones. Absolutely. If I had the money, any type Jag would be a nice purchase, but, I mean, look, here's the thing, I don't want my next car to have an internal combustion engine. You guys know this. I work in technology, I'm a technologist. hybrid or electric from here on out. But I love the magic of those old Land Rovers, you know? As I said to Christy, yep, I'm gonna ping him, but I'm not doing anything until after the 1st of November. Oh, which is this weekend, so which is good. Um, Shawnee says, "Wow, this week is busy. Happy to see some fun people here." Hey, yeah, yeah, it's busy for me too. I'm gonna end a little early tonight because I still have to work before I go to bed. I have to get something out, like, tonight. Yeah, lot of the older line, and by the way, I don't like the Range Rover, any model. Yeah, the Range Rover is like, to me, the Land Rover is something that you're bounding over the moors or, on safari in Africa. I A Range Rover can do all that, but it's not for the freaking opera, and so I'm like, I don't wanna be bounding over the moors in a high-heeled shoe. It's gonna be a combat boot. Anyway, that's so if I was in the position to rebuild, that's pretty much what I would want. That or an E-Type jet. Maybe a Bricklin. There's this huge market, that caters to the Bricklin collector crowd, um, of of making and selling body panels because the original Bricklins came with these, like, polymer body panels that over time in the sun and everything sort of started to buckle and warp a little bit. So there's a company, I don't remember the name of it, that makes metal body panels. Still in the same Bricklin orange, but you can just replace all those buckling body panels, polymer body panels with metal panels that don't buckle over time or bend or warp or whatever it is. It's a good whiskey. So I shot a video of a whiskey for Halloween this year, but I didn't have time to edit it. I just did not. So what I wanted to talk about tonight, we'll talk about next time because that stupidness with the sound at the beginning really ruined my mood. But I wanted to talk about Lars Felt because I saw on the Facebook pages of Paul Kirtley and Kestrom Knives and a Swedish survival school that I follow on Facebook that Lars Felt is dead, and that really made me sad. But we'll talk about it next time. Oh, Destiny wants a Sherp. Those are so expensive, by the way. They look like big old toys, but poof, nope. Um, oh, you rebuilt a Datsun 280Z. Those I loved. My favorite was the 280ZX Turbo. One of my all-time favorite cars. But the 240, 260, 280Z, also very, very cool. Very, very cool cars. Loved those. Hated the 300. Absolutely hated the 300 because that it lost the charm. It was just another boxy, modern, well, boxy at the front anyway. But yeah, 280ZX Turbo, I would have driven if I was old enough and had money at the time. Destiny says, Sherps look like an inflated pierogi. Would love to see Russell try to drive one. Or the Ray. They're so cool. Those are some big honking tires. And I'm pretty sure that they are, in typical Russian fashion, not exactly glorious to drive, but they'll get you there even if there is, on the other side of a canyon. And now I want pierogies. Thank you, Destiny. Man, I do love a pierogi. That is very James Bond, the Datsun. That is it? I didn't know he drove one of those. in a film. I'd like to rewatch some of the old, the old James Bond movies. You know, I mean, the old, like, Sean Connery. Sean Connery. Why am I new members only live stream? Shut up. I'm not sure if I like the idea of having a public live stream and then saying, "By the way, at 9:30, this live stream becomes members only." Like, I don't know what the use case of offering us that function is. There's gotta be one somewhere, and maybe some people are like, members only from X to Y, and then, public, from Z to Z.5. I kind of messed up where I started that, but anyway, whatevs. But yeah, if, it would be cool if Russell or the Ray got their hands on one. The thing is they are expensive, for sure. Suppose it is to encourage people to become members to keep in the conversation, she says, and you know what? That's probably it, he said, while clicking the members only option. But yeah, it's probably something like that. If you wanna maintain your place in this co if you wanna maintain a position, I'm starting this all wrong. If you want to still be part of this conversation after 10:30 PM, just join. Just give me your money. It feels like that goes a little too far for me. A little too far. It's like that's one step above your channel just becoming, like, product reviews with an Amazon link in every episode kind of thing. There's someone on, TikTok who I finally had to stop following, even though I tended to like her content before, just 'cause, it seemed like everything was branded, like everything was, sponsored content all of a sudden. I'm like, I mean, do it every once in a while for sure. I mean, we gotta pay the bills, right? But when more of the videos are product placement than not, um, you've lost me. Country Boy says, "It's a slimy way to make money." Yeah. And then here's the thing though, like, the straight up ad revenue, like, from YouTube, the money is just straight up. There's nothing to be had practically, right? So everyone's has to have memberships or Patreons or, brand deals, to make it, rentable. Um, rentable sort of means worth it, but when I say worth it, it sort of has a negative connotation, but, like, for people who like, I cannot spend money on gear for the channel if the channel isn't making money because, there's just other things in life, you know? Um, but yeah. Uh, David says, Jay Leger canceled his memberships. Too many subs complain about not being able to see the members only content. That seems weird. Like, I mean, if he was making members only content and they were members, they should be able to see it. Like, I don't understand. Why would he have that kind of difficulty? You know? I don't get it. Destiny says the sheriff's motto is obstacles do not block pith. They are pith. It's funny. Um, I really wanted to check out her sheriff too when I first saw them. Then when I saw that price, I was like, nope. Good old whiskey, water of life, which is what aqua vitae means. There's a lot of activity going on upstairs for like after 10. Drink her up, boys, it's well after 10. Drink her up, boys, it's well after. Uh, oh, the non-paying subs were complaining. I get it. Okay. Sorry, I misread what you said. Too many subs complained about not being able to see the members' content. Got it. Well, I mean, the thing is, That that comes down to how you've got it set up, right? Like, if you're doing, enough members only content that the subs who are not members start to feel that they're losing out rather than the members just getting a little extra, then you've not kept it balanced, you know? Um, in which case, I adjust your approach, right? And we have to sort of keep the lights on, but, yeah, it's a fine line. As soon as your stubs, right? Once your subs start to feel kind of, like, abused or taken for granted or whatever, it ain't working, right? You gotta change something for sure. It ain't working. That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. Wonder how many memberships he had, like, how many members he had. I mean, he's a bigger channel than me by a massive order of magnitude. But, like, I'd like to know how many, because some people, instead of memberships, they do the Patreon thing, and, if I went back to the Patreon thing, I would make more money off of every paying patron because YouTube, man, they shave off a crap ton. Um, but I don't have the spoons to admit that because it is more work in the back end and stuff for the Patreon, whatever it's called. Just keeping an eye on the time because I really don't want to forget, like hyper focus, and then like, bam, bam. I'm just waiting for Country Boys. There we go. Abused and taken for granted. I've canceled subscriptions for that. I'm sure we all have. That's the thing, I'm someone who turns off the subscription as soon as I feel taken for granted or anything like that. Those of us on this side of the camera are literally nothing without the people on the other side of the screen. And whenever somebody sort of loses track of that and starts being a little predatory, I'm like, they're gonna bite you. They're gonna bite you, and it's not their fault. It's yours. We've had conversations in the early days about YouTubers who I don't follow anymore because it started to feel cynical. You know, you know. Is the work stuff due tomorrow? Yeah. Well, it's due before I go to bed tonight. That's why, like, I'm ending a little early. I'm ending at 10:30, and I'll get to it. The thing is, there's not much of it left, at least. It's just I just ran out of time at school, at work. It took me forever to get home. It took me forever to get to work, and took me forever to get home. The traffic was absolutely sapping my will to live today, and I don't have a car right now. So, like, I was on a bus, and it was still taking me forever. Bus lanes notwithstanding. So, I don't know what the hell was going on, and we're about to have another transit strike for a month, like, all of November, so I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I just don't know. Don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm waiting for that to pop up. Pack it up, pack it in, let me begin. Shut up, Jesse, for God's sake, stop it. Yes, David, exactly. Some YouTubers get a sense of entitlement when their channels become really successful, and I don't see a lot of that in the space that I inhabit. I have noticed a lot of that in sections of YouTube that I don't really spend time at, like, sort of lifestyle guys and gals or like, beauty, stuff like that. Um, I'm surprised by the Jay Leger thing because I haven't seen too much of that in well, what were they? Jay and Silent Bob? No, the couple who live in a yurt and it ended up their channel just ended up being, a funnel to her OnlyFans. What the hell are they called? Jen and Jerry? Jen Jay and she was definitely not Silent Bob. What the hell? Yeah, they lived in a yurt in BC, but I think they're from the States. Um, ego frequently gets in the way. Yeah, I think sometimes it really does. Hey, Fox. Glad my channel isn't successful there, David. Um, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. Ah, thank you, Jake and Nicole. Haven't looked at that channel in months. Just like, nope, not gonna do it. Don't care. No matter what thumbnails you guys have up. And that was the thing, like, if the thumbnail is the sex appeal, like, if the thumbnail is all about the male gaze, chances are I'm not clicking on it. A, 'cause the video is not gonna deliver the goods, 'cause it's YouTube. B, I don't want it to deliver the goods, like, I don't want that thumbnail. Like, when I'm watching a bushcraft or, um, homesteading video, I don't want the titillation factor, that's not what I'm watching. There are entire sites for that. Keep your credit card in your wallet, please. But, so, like, I don't look at YouTube videos of in the bushcraft space or the homesteading space or the van life space, although there's a lot of van life stuff that sort of goes into that territory, um, for that kind of content. And I'm not following your OnlyFans, no matter what, no matter who. Forget it. See, now I'm feeling all, like, jaded and cynical and right. Taking a look just to make sure I'm still caught up with the Cheating McChat. Whiskey finished. Tea still on the go. David Evans likes to support down to earth / humble YouTubers. Well, down at the 3,000 members, 3,000 subs mark, it's still pretty humble. So glad for your support. If I ever get another video up. But anyway, um, is Al still here or did he fall asleep or leave? Because I realized that like I was talking directly to him, but I don't know if I saw any answers from him. And where's Russell? Is he asleep on us? Um, maybe Thursdays are no good for like there's a bunch of people for whom Thursday is no good, and I don't know, like Marcus is not good for Thursdays, I believe. And I don't remember if Russell is one of them's. Shawnee says, "Can you imagine doing an entire live stream with no beverage? I have to sip on water, tea, juice one day." Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't do it, or at least I can't do it. No, you need something for sure. It doesn't have to be booze, but you need at least water to keep your liquids up. Um, Country Boy says their YouTube was kind of cool, but Jake's narcissism was just too much. I thought they were both like they're both gross. You know, look at us, we're young and we're attractive, and it's like mm, not enough, not enough to be pointing us to the OnlyFans. You know, there's Jim. Home, beer, me, Marge. Oh, home, beer, me, Marge. I get it, I get it. Sorry, I saw a, period or a full stop where it was a comma. Oh, ah, I'm gonna have dreams of, like, restoring an old Land Rover. Part of me would wanna do it, like, absolutely, authentic and then put a big honking, hybrid motor in the front just to watch the purists, like, wilt. But, uh, there's a whole segment of the car restoration community that, you know, cut holes in the hoods and have these huge honking engines poking out the top or they lower the they lower the action so that the car's only, like, this far off the ground. I mean, that's not authentic either, right? Right? Excuse me. Ugh. I'm gonna be so happy after work tomorrow. Like, the minute 4:30 hits, I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, I can't believe I made it." 'Cause it's been so like, Monday, I went to bed at midnight. Wednesday, actually, I went to bed at 3. I mean, I'm still getting up at 6:30 every day, right? Yesterday, I went to bed at, like, 1:30, 2. I'm just, I'm ragged right out. I'm just totally bagged, you know? Um, Country Boy wanted to talk to Al about 16 American Muscle Cars, but he disappeared. Yeah, he knows a lot, you know? Yeah, I'd put the batteries along along the floor or, yeah, I'd lay the batteries along maybe not the floor. It's just like I wouldn't want to lose the entire trunk space to battery packs, right? So I would wanna have some kind of I'm not sure how I do it, but, who cares? I'm just dreaming about it, you know? I just but you want a fairly large battery pack because it's a Land Rover, for God's sakes. A, they're heavy, and B, you wanna be able to, hit the backwoods. I mean, with the hybrid, it's less of an issue than with a straight up electric, for sure. I'm just waiting for that to show up in the side chat, Mr. David. There you go. Pam is off to Italy with one of her girlfriends. You're you're bacheloring it for 10 days. That sounds amazing. Love that. What, you got any plans? You got anything cool? Yeah, that sounds amazing. I love solitude. Just love it. I mean, I also love my family, but I mean, I do like it when I've got a day to myself for sure. Um, with my ADHD coach, I'm working on not wasting every day that I'm absolutely alone with, laundry and dishes and stuff like that for the whole day. That like spend some time on like leisure stuff, and that's if I do a cocktail video or a short live stream or something, that's that. But like, I haven't watched a TV show in months, like months. For instance, I haven't read a book in. Yeah, David loves his me time. Absolutely, I recognize that in you, buddy. Absolutely, yeah, I love my me time for sure. Absolutely, and like I'm in solitude to a certain extent when I'm stuck in traffic on my way home from work, but that doesn't really scratch the itch. Like, I've sort of tried to make it me time, like, that's my podcast listening time, because I'm stuck in traffic anyway, and I used to be sort of having a coronary every day, but it's not the same as everyone leaves and you have the house to yourself. spend an hour doing some light cleaning, and then just, like, luxuriate in the silence. You know what I'm saying? Seriously though, where is Russell? He was giving me crap for deciding to do a short live stream, and he's not even here. Just gonna check and see if he told me that he wasn't gonna be here for some reason, for some diggity goddamn reason. Um, no, nothing, nothing. Um, Jim saying hi to everyone. Country Boy says, I've been part of a few builds, none all of my own. Never had the space or a supportive partner. My dream is a 65 GMC side pickup. It's the first truck my dad owned that I remember. Well, yeah, I mean, you got a truck now. It's not that, that's for sure. But I those old trucks have a certain charm for sure. I mean, I'm speaking as someone who massively dislikes the current size of trucks. You know, I'm not gonna buy an F-150, even the Lightning. Um, but I love the size of those old trucks. That well, you know what? I think they call them now like a mid-sized. You know, Ford has that. What's it called? Maverick? Is the Ford Maverick their new reasonably sized pickup? You can buy it either as a hybrid or a straight up petrol engine. I like the size of that. That's a good sized truck. Maverick, I think. I think. Uh, 22:19. Just 22:20. 10 more minutes, and then Jesse gets to work. I am going to love going to bed at a reasonable hour. I don't really tend to go to bed at a reasonable hour, but like when you're slogging away at your work computer post midnight, that's a special kind of hell for sure. And that has I'm not saying that I have a bad job. I mean, any time that I've been working that late, I feel like I'm robbing myself of valuable time for projects and stuff, you know? Country Boy's truck is small but jacked up with big tires. Yeah, I've seen pictures of your truck. I think you were doing some overland stuff. Yeah, you do some trail driving, so I could see a smaller truck being, good for something like that. Just waiting. Oh, yeah, in fact, there it is. Excuse me. Oh, my land. I had a full size, but I couldn't navigate the trails I drive on. Yeah, I massively dislike the full size pickup sort of not market, but that whole class. Absolutely. Not rigidly, because there are people who require a big honking pickup, right? There are people who work in industries, right? They're always packing a bunch, or they're just someone who's always packing a bunch of stuff, right? Like, every hunting trip, I was glad we had a full-size pickup for sure, right? Because there were 3 of us, you know, 3 boomsticks with accoutrement, 3 people's hunting clothes and bags and gear, coolers with enough food for a week, you know, like, that size pickup has uses. It's just I personally know too many people who don't use them for anything, you know? But they've got the lift kit. They don't even trail ride, you know? They drive to the bar. Yeah, you could eat off the back, you know, the back deck on those things. It's like, you should never be able to eat off the back deck of a pickup. There should always be dirt and scratches in there. Mhm. Full-time contractor. My dad was a full-time contractor for 40 years. He never had a pickup. He had station wagons. Uh, no, he wasn't a contractor. I mean, he was a carpenter, okay? So he wasn't like the head of I mean, he did some jobs on his own, but he was often part of a crew. But he, yeah, he never had a pickup. Had a bunch of big station wagons. He had a Parisienne station wagon. Um, Peanut trucker's truck is big with small tires. That's a whole different class of truck, though. Where are you tonight? Yes, where are you tonight, Mister Sacramento? Never been to Sacramento. Never, never, never. Been to LA. Been to not LA. Whatever the one the Disney thing is in Anaheim. Not for Disney, for a convention center. Yeah. Right, you got a Ranger. I'd forgotten what it was that you had because I forget everything. I'm neurodivergent. Give me a break. 3-inch suspension lift. Inch body. I guess you mean 3-inch body lift and 33-inch tires. Yeah, that'll get you over some rocks for sure. Peanut Trucker says, but it's not showing up in the side chat yet. You're not missing anything here in Sacramento except construction and traffic. Yeah, construction and traffic. It's like Montreal. So we have an election, municipal election here on the 2nd of November, and I have now told 2 representatives, party representatives, that I will vote for anyone who will make any construction work that disrupts traffic, whether that's blocking off a lane because, you're putting up a big ass or blocking traffic because you've got a big honking dump truck that has to sort of back into a site. Any party that makes that illegal during rush hour gets my vote. Almost single issue voting. Um, Kojibai would not want to be in California ever. I don't know. I like California. I mean, I don't want to live under a different national flag, period. But there's some nice stuff there. David Evans is out. He says good night all. And Destiny wonders if you could get on the 401. The OPP would probably have an aneurysm. Yeah, I don't know if this is road legal anywhere in North America for sure. Feels like if you got a Sherp, you better have a backboard to drive it on. Andrew Boy says you could just drive over them. OPP, yeah, you know me. Why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep doing that? Why does David consistently leave my live streams at like 5 or 6 minutes before the end? I think he's saying goodnight to give us all a chance to say goodnight back. Oh, yeah, I could see the East Coast being tough on a truck, on a trucker's, like, nerves, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I don't think I would live in California either, but 'cause, to me, out west, I prefer sort of the Northwest coast. I like red to pines and spruces kind of thing rather than like, I do not like palm trees, you know? You're doing Peanut Trucker says, doing the last truck show of the year next week in Bakersfield. Bakersfield is a place of interest in the Fallout series. Just wanna mention that apropos of nothing. Apropos of goddamn nothing. So I canceled my Amazon Prime because, fuck the oligarchs, but now it means I can't watch the 2nd season of the Amazon Fallout show, and I loved the first season because they understood the assignment. It was clearly made by people who loved the game. Clearly. They got the humor, they got the creatures, they got the look, they got the feel. Um, Destiny saith, "Okay, good night, everyone. Stay safe on those roads, my southern friend." Speaking to Mr. Peanut. "Stay sane, stay sober, stay safe. Bonsoir et bisous." Okay, the sober was I said it on by mistake when I wasn't totally sober. Um, Jim just Googled the Sherp. Yeah, yeah, they're almost comical looking, right? They look like you know those Tonka toys of the tractors that are like 2 honking big wheels with a little seat on top and a scoop up the front? Roads, parking in the openness of the deserts. The cities are packed with traffic, but most of California is a desert. Yeah, I wouldn't wanna deal with LA traffic. For sure. Yes, okay. Time to work. Yeah, it is now 22:29, which means we're outta here in 1 minute, so I'm just gonna start the ending monologue, but which I mean, good night, everyone. Thank you for hanging with me on this, kinda scrappy seat of the pants live stream. Um, Between now and next Tuesday, he said, looking at his calendar. Wide open. Between now and the next, regular time slot, which is Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Montreal time. Um, Everybody please, uh, stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night, everyone.